There are very few things in the legal field that are absolutely big no-nos. But one of them is that police, law enforcement, may not use physical force in order to obtain a confession. Now, this is because we have a case called Williams v. U.S. It was decided in 1951, and the defendant wasn't even a police officer. He was just pretending to be one. So here's the case. We've got a private investigator in Florida, and he had been hired by a corporation to figure out who had been stealing from this corporation. So through his investigation, he had found 4 men, pulled them aside, and started questioning them. Over multiple days, he assaulted them. Now, police were present in order to kind of give authority to the situation, and after the 4 days, these men had been severely harmed. Now, he was charged with assault and battery, and he came back and said that this kind of technique in order to obtain a confession or information was fine, and that any statute that said otherwise was unconstitutional. Not only that, but because he was a private investigator, he wasn't government, and therefore it doesn't apply to him anyway. The U.S. Supreme Court was not impressed. They said very clearly, common law has shown time and time again that the use of force in order to obtain a confession takes away the trustworthiness of that confession, because we don't know if they're confessing because they actually did it or if they're confessing in order to get the physical altercation to stop. Very important. And in this particular case, this private investigator had some kind of a card given to him by local police that he had claimed gave him the authority to question the men in this manner. The U.S. Supreme Court said you held yourself out as law enforcement, and because of that, yes, this situation does actually involve you in due process, even though technically you're not a police officer. So in the interest of making sure that confessions are given voluntarily and are trustworthy, no physical means may be used against them in order to obtain that confession. So there's the standard when it comes to police interrogating suspects and whether or not physical force can be used.